General quarters, all hands back at battle station.
Broadcasting live on the UnitedWest.org AM radio network and simulcasting on DirecTV, iHeartRadio, Roku, and the World Wide Web, this is Enemies of the State with Tom Trento.
Thank you, everybody. Tom Trento here on the 10th Friday, Jumpin' Juma Freaky Friday, but we're not going to do all of that today. We got some other stuff on our platter, or our plate, as the case may be, that is critically important. And we thank all of you, all of our viewers out there. We produce a television show. You know how many hours go into the production of this? How many hours do you think, man hours and woman hours, we have women who help us, go into the production of one of these highly polished shows? Anybody know?
No, I don't know.
I have no idea,
20
Tom.
hours. Over 20. I every day put 19 in, and between Mark and Damon, they put in an hour.
And a half, an hour and a half.
Hour piece.
15 minutes, max.
But about 20 hours of work go into every one of their television shows. And if we dealt with happy stuff, we'd probably have be on regular cable TV. But we deal with reality. And reality is something that a lot of the cable networks don't like. Even conservative channels that are up on DirecTV and all that have turned us down because we're very direct in what we say and what we do.
You're my sugar.
So we have a following of many wonderful people, many elected officials, and we thank you all. Keep pushing the show out. Keep going to our Facebook page, The United West or Tom Trento, liking what we do. The audience is growing and growing. Well, why is that important? It's important because we need your money. We need your money. We haven't seen a direct correlation between the size of the audience and
how's
money.
that working out for you, Tom?
Not real well. But
That Trento, he's one big Zionist.
Because we're
but
forming
he's no
a
Jew when it comes to raising money.
Good at that. We're forming a revolution, and we're choosing not to use weapons of warfare, but weapons of brainfare. Smart activism, we're calling it. Very smart activism. That's how you beat these guys long term. Smack them around a little bit with your hand, and it's temporary. You smack them around with your brain, you destabilize them, you disrupt, disable, destroy their influence operations, you set them back a long time, and that's what we do. For the past 3 days, today's the third day of a 5-part series, we're focusing on a very interesting event that we have had here in Florida for 6 or 7 years, Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day, it's called here in Florida.
That's just insane. That's just insane.
I know, the whole thing is nuts. That's like going to Saudi Arabia and having a Christian and Jew worship day in Saudi Arabia.
It's more like...
They're going to look at us like, you guys can't do that. But for many years, we've smashed heads with some of the leaders that are going to be in Washington, D.C. this coming Monday. Today's Friday the 10th. On the 13th, there will be Muslim... hey, let us put the call out. If you are a Muslim brother of any stature,
yes,
you're just entering the brotherhood. You've been dreaming about it for all these years. You want an Armani suit. You want to drive a Mercedes-Benz. You want women who just fall down when you speak. You want to be a Muslim brother. We got to do a segment on what it takes to be a Muslim brother in America. If you want a knot on your head that just is red and bloody looking and big and all of that.
Which is hot.
No gold. They don't wear gold. If you want all of this, you need to be in Washington, D.C. on April 13th, 2015, because your homies, your big boys, the men, the Islamic men are going to be there. Name some of those men that'll be there.
Oh, the all-star cast, Tom. It really is an all-star cast.
Do we have any pictures of the real Muslim brothers that are going to be in Washington, D.C.? Oh, there's their organizations.
Well, there's their...
Whoa!
Oh, man. These are just, creme de la creme here. I mean, these guys are like the all-star. I mean, you could, if you had like field a baseball team and you pick all throughout the country of what you would want to have, you go right
for our radio audience.
8 of them there. They just need a pitcher.
For our radio audience, Mark, you read as quickly as you can, and if you stumble, that's okay. And then Damon, you're going to read the first row, left to right. Wait, we just came back from Israel. Read it right to left, okay? And Damon, you read the bottom row. To tell the names of these people and what organizations they are. This is the creme de la creme. Here we go. Ready, Mark? Put
I'm doing the top
up,
row. Okay.
And go.
Now we'll start out with just the all-star pitcher. At first base, you have Iman Siraj Rahar coming in at a good 400 ERA batting average and everything like that. Then you have Nizam
Naeem,
president of ICNA, the Islamic Circle North America, and he is hot on the trot today. And also you have Nihad Awad, the All-Stars, signed for a multi-million-dollar contract this
Big
year.
batter.
perennial
batter.
all-star, batting cleanup.
Big cleanup, Nihad Awad, executive director of CARE. And the fourth then the fourth All-Star that we have here is Osama Irshad. Oh, hey, he's a class act. He is the father of internet jihad, and he's an all-star, Tom. You could not draft a better.
All right,
person than
Damon,
this.
who's the bottom row?
Okay, we have Mohammed II, whose father started an offshoot of the Nation of Islam to be slightly more accepted by these very same Sunni Muslim Brotherhood groups, because Nation of Islam was a little bit too into the black liberation theology and not enough Islam. So what W. Dean Mohammed did is he took the essentials of the Nation of Islam, tweaked him a little bit, and now he too is a Muslim brother.
Hey, all right, yeah. Had to draft him from the other side. Yeah.
We have Abu Nuruzaman, president of Muna. We have Khalik Meek. That's a cool name.
Yeah, he's a
Khalik
good guy. I
Meek.
like him. He's a good guy.
He's the executive director of the MLFA. That's the Muslim Legal Fund Association, something to that effect. And then we have a real doozy.
Yeah.
Name that a lot of people are not going to be familiar with, but a real professional at being a dirtbag, and his name is Mazen Mokhtar, Executive Director of the Muslim American Society.
He's the father of internet jihad.
Yeah, he is. So I don't know.
AMP is the AMP guy. He's a class act too.
All right, well, what we have, folks, 12 minutes after 4, Tom Trento, your host. Name of the show. Why do you think we named the show Enemies of the State? Look at those 8 guys.
I don't know, Tom. Tell us.
And on today's Friday the 10th, on Monday the 13th, we're actually going to look at these individuals and maybe a few others. And we're going to have with us Claire Lopez, former operations officer with the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. She'll be with us on our Monday show. And we're going to dig more deeply into their backgrounds as to why we refer to them on occasion as total Islamic dirtbags, simply because they are individuals committed to the ultimate overthrow of the United States, the destruction of the Judeo-Christian worldview, the destruction of Israel as a nation, the elimination of Jews on the face of the earth, and then get rid of Christians if at all that's possible. That's total Islamic dirtbag property and territory. So we're gonna look at that. But what are they doing on Monday the 13th? They are at the U.S. Capitol lobbying the legislators there, senators and Congress people. They're lobbying them to change the laws so that people like them can't be investigated by the FBI and the DEA and Homeland Security and other organizations. That's what this whole thing is about. That's why we're exposing it in the grandiose way that we're exposing it. But we've run across a little bit of a problem.
What?
The problem is very simple. You have an elected official. All right, now understand this process, ladies and gentlemen, at 14 minutes after. Tom Trento, WSBR Radio. We love our radio station. They're based out of Boca Raton, Florida. WSBR. You should plug into your radio, 740 a.m. on the dial. We come on the air at 4 o'clock East Coast time. And we're also being broadcast right now in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is 4 hours from where we are. University of South Florida is there.
Samuel Arian.
Yeah, that's Jihad University, the leading university for jihad activity in the state of Florida. We have 13,
way to go there.
Universities. They're number one. We're on WHFS there, 1010 on the dial.
Can I say hello to my 2 favorite listeners up there?
Absolutely. They're going to be in Washington. If we go, we may or may not go.
Hello, you civilizational jihadist Hassan Shibli and you cultural jihadist Ahmed Badir.
Yes, we personalize the show wherever we possibly can.
Yes.
we-
Hi guys, see you in
they- we-
DC.
Yeah,
You know,
you love
I
us.
never
You love
really
us.
had
They
a
love
friendly
us.
relationship with Badir. He always avoided me. Mark, you
Oh
spent
yeah,
some
we had
time
a good
with
conversation.
him.
He actually likes my work.
He hates me.
But Hassan Shibli, I kind of like the guy, and as a guy, as a human, and I told him we're enemies. We're ideological enemies. You want something that is opposed to what America is about. Oh no, I love America and all this stuff. So he doesn't really talk to me anymore, and that kind of indicates the weakness of a particular position. Unless you're a total whack job, I will engage you, even, no matter how extreme you may be, like Anjem Chowdhury, to have conversation on this stuff, to disagree with you, all of that. And I'm not going to run away from any of you who want to talk to me. You guys run away from me is what happens.
Yep.
Hassan, come on the show. Yeah, I'll give you a microphone. You sit next to me, you Skype in, take the microphone. I'll give you 30 minutes to make your case, and then we have a discussion. We're not going to attack you. We're not going to hurt you. We're not going to shave off your beard or anything like that. But we're going to
Take
beat
away
the
your
hell
mitt
out of
stick.
you. We're going to beat the hell out of you with facts and truth, and you're going to run away and go, I probably shouldn't have done that, which is why you won't come on the show in the first place. So I'll go on any of your shows and argue for America. How about I argue for America?
Oh, he loves America.
Yeah, I know.
That's why he's suing the FBI for $30 million for a triple Jew-killing cohort of the Tsarnaev brothers.
And
That's
that-
how much he loves America.
And that's the reason he's banning doing the FBI ban thing too. You know.
Yes, that was on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Today's Friday.
Today's Friday.
Not Friday. I mean Tuesday of next
Yep.
week.
Yeah, he did all that, handing out. Don't talk to the FBI.
Yesterday's show. When was
Yesterday.
Yeah,
whatever
yesterday's show,
whatever
Thursday.
Yesterday's show, which was the 9th, Thursday the 9th, we did a whole thing on what these guys want, what the Muslim Council for the U.S. Council on Muslim Organizations. They come up with these crazy acronyms.
Yeah.
And we have a little problem. We're going to tell you what the problem is. Then we're going to go to Enemies of the State Theater. And we're going to perform live before you today. Completely unrehearsed.
No, it's totally scripted because hours of preparation.
totally
hours.
scripted.
Did you bring in the marionettes?
We're going to do a little sketch that we kind of worked out in our head that helps with the tainment part of edu, okay?
Okay.
But this may be total bomb city. We don't know, but we're going to do that in a minute.
Who am I again?
But to better understand the
clean
problem, I'll do a quick overview. We have a 5-part series. Today, the 10th of April, is part number 3. Thank you all for watching these shows. We're getting tremendous response from the investigative series, and we're investigating the Muslim Brotherhood's influence operation on the United States Capitol. Big stuff, man. They went right to the top, right to the top. On the 13th and 14th, the Muslim Brotherhood and its affiliates are going to be lobbying senators and elected officials, representatives, congresspeople, to ultimately change federal law to make it harder to arrest these guys and deport them. So they like to stay here. They like to stay here illegally if possible. They like their families to be here illegally and all sorts of other things. So
Of course they
Don't
would.
forget the destroying our miserable house from within part.
Yeah,
they have a little bit of an objective in the Muslim Brotherhood doctrine, which is the necessity of destroying this house because it's a democracy. And democracy is incompatible with the word of Allah, and philosophically they're right. If Allah is for real, which I deny he is, if he has spoken through Gabriel to Muhammad, which myself and many others deny ever happened, and the illiterate Muhammad wrote this stuff down in a perfect form and brought
That's
it to us.
contradictory, Tom. The illiterate guy wrote it down.
I think he may have had some people writing for
Oh.
him. He spoke it out, but it was his words.
Okay.
If all of that is true, and I don't grant that, but I will for the sake of the conversation, then they are right, because Allah has laid out a system, political system, that is not democratic in any means. It's dictatorial, it's top-down rulership, it's supremacist, and
It is perfect.
it is perfect.
Imam Abdul.
Hello, Tom. I'm sorry I'm late. It's
Well,
usual on
hey,
the Fridays.
hey, could you
Oh,
please
that's right.
not slam the door next time, Imam Abdul? I've been telling
Very,
you about
very
it.
sorry.
Our new studio, the doors actually work. You
Yes.
can
Yeah,
just
I
open
know.
them.
Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you guys, the brothers, are you a card-carrying member of the Muslim
No,
Brotherhood?
Tom, I am not card carrying. No. I tried this a while ago. My punishment is I have to work on your show, and maybe if I do well enough here, I get reconsidered for my card. But
Okay,
as
all
of
right.
right now, not card carrying.
If you were card-carrying,
Oh, that would
on
be
the
fantastic.
back of your card, on all the Muslim Brotherhood identification cards, they have the little civilization jihad. That our work is a type of civilization jihad, and we have to destroy the United States, which is the house from within, the miserable house from
Takbir,
within.
yes.
Yeah.
So we can look at that and say, a bunch of clowns, but these clowns blew up a bunch of buildings, and they're overseeing blowing up a bunch of stuff all over the place. But the Brotherhood has a catalytic component where they're operating, a very organic component where they're violent, the violent component of the Brotherhood. But they also have a nonviolent component, which is political, and that's what they're doing here. Both are just as dangerous, but here's the problem we found. We found that when you're a new guy and you get elected, newly elected representative, you say all this wonderful stuff when you're campaigning, but then when you get in office, you go, whoa, this is cool,
whoa.
man. You wear that little round pin on your collar.
Yeah, you're in the
Doors
club now,
open
man.
Up in the restaurants, people move out of your way.
You got Grover calling you, saying, "Hey, I got this great guy I'd like you to see," and everything.
You're living large. You never thought, and this happened to the guy that beat Alan West here in Florida, Patrick Murphy. He got elected. Now he's running for Senate because he loves the power of Washington, D.C. And when you do that, as Patrick Murphy did, you get involved with a lot of bizarre groups, as he did with the Emerge group. Excellent expose that Joe Kaufman did on Patrick Murphy, doing a little dance with Muslim jihadis, cultural jihadis.
Yes, Tom, that is...
But you want to please everybody because you want the world to be happy. You want America to be happy. And you want people to vote for you and give you money and listen to you. You don't want to be a hardcore guy that is saying, this is the way it should be because this is right. So you try to be diplomatic.
Flexible.
Okay? But then you're confronted with the bizarre and the strange, and sometimes you don't know what to do.
Right.
So we're assuming this is going to happen. Now we're going into theater of the enemies of the state absurd for the next couple of moments. Each of us is going to play a different character, and we're going to illustrate what we think is going to take place in the United States Capitol on Monday the 13th, Tuesday the 14th, Palestine Day. We think there's going to be a visible and existential clash of civilizations with this Tea Party guy or this conservative. This doesn't occur for Democrats who want to be involved with the Muslim Brotherhood. We're talking about the conservative, patriotic representatives there. They're going to see big, burly men dressed very nicely, not a whole lot of women, a couple maybe, come into their office and want to talk to them about changing federal law to not profile them so they don't go to jail as often as they go to jail now. And that legislate, well, let us show you what we think is going to happen on Monday morning, Monday afternoon, Tuesday, all day Tuesday in Capitol Hill. Who wants to be the congressman? I'll be the congressman. I'll be the freshman
You
congressman.
look senatorial, Tom.
I'll be the,
Are you
congressman.
Republican?
Especially out of the three of us, you are the most senatorial.
I'll be the congressman because if you're a senator, you're there for a while, and you maybe have, the problem's going to occur more with the new guys than the old.
All right, so you're a freshman House of Rep member.
freshman House of Rep.
Republican or Democrat?
I'm a Republican.
Okay.
I got elected in the great state of Florida from
Fantastic.
District 272. There's only 67, but that's okay. No,
Are you a
sorry.
rhino type of, or are you Tea Party, or it doesn't matter?
No, I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy.
Tea Party,
I
okay.
believe in God and apple pie and all of that.
So you're a good guy. You're actually a good freshman Republican from the state of Florida. Don't to serve your constituents and do a good job. You're not a 14-term dirtbag that's been there for
No.
Okay.
And I look at
Okay.
this guy, I go, he's bad.
Okay,
Bad.
so
But I
you're
don't really know that much. I ran on an economic platform, jobs.
Yeah,
a little national security, maybe.
Yeah.
We need to have a strong military.
Right. Okay.
And
Okay, we got you.
all right, that's me. Who are you?
I'm gonna play. Can I be like your new guy staffer, like just some guy that contributed to your campaign's son, but a good guy, early 20s, want to get some experience in D.C.
Okay.
I'm fresh out of college, going to start law school soon.
Oh, you're gonna start? You had a degree in political science.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And my
So-
dad contributed to your campaign, and you've known me since I was in middle school.
Okay. All
I'm a
right.
good kid.
This is exactly what happens on Capitol
Okay.
Hill. All right, you're an intern, and you're meeting the new constituents who come in, and you're kind of getting a overview of who they are.
Little
and
wet
then you
behind the
brief-
ears, still a little
Okay.
squeaky voice, like I have today.
Okay.
Okay.
And Mark, who are you?
I'll be the Muslim dirtbag.
Nice. Beautiful.
You're going to be a Muslim Brother operative,
Yeah, carrot.
agent
I'll
of
be a carrot.
influence,
I'll be a carrot
supporting
dirtbag.
terrorism.
I'll
Are
be
you going to be one of these guys?
Yeah,
You're gonna be one of
I'll
those
be.
guys.
I'll be a friend of Nihad Awad.
All right.
I think you need this. I think you need this right here.
Oh no, you'll be wearing that by the end of the conversation.
Oh, I'll be wearing this by the end of the.
Come on, don't spoil this.
Okay. One ring-a-dingy. I'm in my office. I'm doing my work here.
Yeah.
And for anyone tuning in right now, 26 minutes after 4, you are witnessing Theater of the Enemies of the State absurd sketch. The three of us are playing characters that we think is going to happen on Capitol Hill on the 13th and 14th.
And just to recap, Tom is playing the freshman Republican congressman. Me, Damon, is playing his wet behind the ears front office staffer. And Mark is playing a total Islamic dirtbag.
Okay, this is my office right
And
here.
what's your name? What's your name, staffer?
I'll be little Jimmy. I'll be Jimmy.
All right. How about we just approach little Jimmy and then we'll go.
Okay, let's go. We're going to start. Knock on the
right.
door. You have to knock on the door to come in. We need sound effects. Foley.
Yes. Yes. Good afternoon.
Hi, little Jimmy. This is Ahmed. How are you doing today?
Good, Ahmed. How are you, sir? How can I help you? Welcome to
it's
Congressman
not pronounced-
Trento's office.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I represent the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations, and we believe in one God, one vision, and one voice, just like your candidate does. He's a very godly man, is he not?
Oh, yes, he is actually.
And he has one vision for this country, does he not?
Yes, he most certainly does.
And he believes we should be of one voice, does he not?
Well, I don't know about the one voice.
Well, one voice for traditional values, for conservative
yes,
values.
absolutely. He's a very traditional conservative man.
Yeah, and I represent a very large group of people, and we've been vetted actually by a bunch of people.
I got to cut. They would like to see the people speaking. They're looking at me doing nothing
Well,
up
I
here.
had the graphic up there.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Jeez,
Oh man,
they like to see
congressmen
you
don't
guys.
just cut in like
I
that and
have
say
a
you got to
feel.
start
I have
over.
A feel
He's
for
still the
viewer.
director here.
The viewer's going, who are these people?
So anyway,
Here you go.
so I would like to have we've been actually vetted by many prominent conservatives from George Bush all the way down through Karl Rove, through Grover Norquist, the top tier people. We've had breakfast meetings and with them, and I would like to spend just a few minutes of time with the congressman, if you don't mind.
Wow. Well, we weren't expecting you, but I could certainly ask the congressman if he's got time for you. Can you hold 1 second, please?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Yes, Congressman Trento, there is a gentleman here named Ahmed, and he is with you. U.S.
Name
Council.
what?
Ahmed, he said.
Wait a minute. What's his name?
Ahmed, he spit on me a little bit when he said it, but I
Okay.
think that's what he said.
All right, Ahmed, okay.
And he says he's a representative with the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations.
Ooh, okay, Muslim organization. What does he want? What does he want?
Well, he says that his group has been well vetted and very experienced with big Republican leaders for decades.
Does he have a big overcoat on, like too big of a coat for the weather?
Come to think of it, no, he doesn't.
Okay.
But he says he'd love to speak with you.
What's he want to talk about?
I don't know. Hold on 1 second, and I'll ask him, Congressman. Yes, Ahmed. What did you want to speak with the congressman about?
Well, it's pronounced Ahmed. You don't have to.
Oh, I don't have to spit
No,
when
you
I
don't.
say
You don't
it.
have to spit when you
Ahmed.
say. No. Even though you might hear other people call that's not the correct pronunciation. It's Ahmed.
Ahmed. Okay, Ahmed. What did you want to speak to the congressman about?
We just want to reach out because we're community.
What's he saying?
Community voices.
Jimmy, what's he?
Hold on 1 second, Congressman. He's kind of stuttering on his words.
Okay.
Because someone keeps messing up with the wrong buttons on the TriCaster. That's why.
Theater of the absurd.
Yeah, so we're having a community outreach. We're going to interfaith dialogue and try to bring some more constituents over to his campaign. And we.
Congressman, he says he wants to bring you more voters.
Oh, dude, I'm down for that. But how's he going to do that?
And his name is not Ahmed. It's just Ahmed, Congressman. Okay. Oh, 1 second, Congressman.
Does he have any particular thing that he wants to talk to me about today?
Hold on, and I'll ask him. Ahmed, how did you plan on bringing more constituents to the representative, and what exactly did you want to speak about?
Well, this Monday we're actually having a. We're
It
lobbying.
is Monday.
It is Monday.
Oh,
you're there.
Oh, I'm there. Well, today I'm sorry.
I think you're in the congressman's office.
Today we're
Muslims. Oh man,
I don't know.
You don't go by a different.
I'm sorry. I was on Quranic time. I'm behind.
No,
okay.
Muslims have a different calendar.
Yeah, I have a different calendar. Okay, excuse me. Okay.
Yes. So, what did you want to talk to the congressman?
We're having a Muslim outreach today to the whole group of us who are representing many hundreds and thousands and millions of actually potential voters are coming to Congress today, and we have a big, huge organization, and
What did you want to talk to the congressman about?
I'd just like to talk about outreach and just how we could work together.
Congressman, Ahmed's not being very particular about what he wants to talk to you about other than outreach and
Try to get the guy, hey, Jimmy,
Yes.
to get the guy to say something specific, okay, so I know what to do, because I don't know what to
Okay.
do. I don't know what to do.
If you look at number 2 on the list.
Well, there's been a lot of discrimination going on, throughout the world, and it's been very well documented. And we're trying to, get rid of those layers and levels of discrimination, so we can actually have a dialogue. We just need to have a dialogue at first.
He wants some kind of dialogue and talking about discrimination, and I'm not really sure. Why don't you read number 1?
Because I can't read it on the screen.
Well,
here's a flyer. Here's a flyer, Jimmy.
Here's a flyer. Let me read the flyer to you. Congressman, it says that he's seeking congressional action calling on the U.S. Department of Justice to amend its racial profiling guidance for federal law enforcement by removing any existing loopholes that continue to permit profiling in the name of national security, domestic surveillance, and policing the border.
You got to be friggin' kidding me. That's what he
Ahmed,
wants?
why didn't you just say that when I asked you?
I don't
Because
know
I handed
what
you
to
a
do.
flyer, Billy.
Yeah.
You can't read.
I know, you got to do like a Home Alone Zoom, and we'll end this segment on, I don't know what to do. Jimmy, I don't know what to do. Cut. Okay. I may need a little work. But I think
That was great.
I think
That was
folks
so
get the point.
fantastic.
Put the phone down.
Put the phone down now.
Let me tell you something, folks. We have been in a lot of. I'm not getting anything in this thing right here, so give me a little more audio. If
A
you
little
can.
audio.
Unless I pulled it
you
out.
pulled it out.
Probably pulled it out again.
We have been in a lot of offices of elected officials and done some lobbying on our own through the years. That's pretty much exactly how it goes. The guys come in, and whoever the entity is, did it pull out? The guys come in, whoever the entity is, and no, not doing it. That's
Okay.
right. The guys come in, whoever the entity is, and you have an intern there that is clueless, and the goal of the group is try to get inside the office. The intern's goal is to kind of hold them out until they know what's going on. But once me, Congressman Trento, became aware of the fact that these guys want to change the law, I don't know anything about that. This is
Right.
what's going to happen there. This is how an influence operation works. They're real nice, they're gentle, they bring gifts and all of that. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
And the big thing is that they come in so well vetted by senior people in the Republican Party. I mean, very senior, from Karl Rove down to Grover Norquist down to
It's up to Grover Norquist, not down to Grover Norquist.
Up to. Yep. Okay, yeah, the audio's back. No, that's exactly how it goes. And part of our investigative series and our theatrical component to our investigative series is designed to make the audience, our viewers and listeners, aware 35 minutes after 4 o'clock, and then help you see, and this is where we're creating a movement throughout America, in particular to respond on November 8th, 2016, but to help you see the difficulties faced, particularly when it comes to Islamic issues, by your own elected official. That guy that you worked for, you put signs on your lawn, you made phone calls, you had barbecues, you went on chicken crazy dinners for him, and you had fairs all over the place, and for her you opened your home up and you got them elected. Now they're in Washington, D.C. representing you, and they're getting nailed by terrorists. They don't have the base of knowledge that we do. And we do briefing on the Hill, particularly through some of our friends up there. But on Monday and Tuesday, this representative is going to be confused as to what they should do. Well, our show today is designed to provide the information to those representatives so that they know what to do and how to respond to these terrorists lobbying them next week. We want you to take this show, take this information, get it to any elected official that you know in Washington, D.C. This is going to be an inoculation against the Muslim Brotherhood influence operation.
Understand that these guys have been doing this for decades. For decades,
well, yep.
And they are professionals at it, and they've made all the contacts, they've made all the dinners, they made all the friendships and everything, and by the time you get there as a freshman you're coming into it's like going from the little league into the major league, you know?
And here's how we're going to do this right now, the remaining time we have in the show. We're going to dive into two critically important geopolitical components of a democracy, of a republic. And we're going to start by looking at the United States State Department, the U.S. Department of State. Okay. And I'm going to go over to the Great Wall of the West. Can I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I need a cue? I can just go. Wow, we're getting pretty good
Move it.
Yeah.
Hey, you lost a couple pounds since Israel, Trento.
I don't think so. All right, here's what we have. Now everybody right now, every viewer and listener at 37 minutes after, they're going, come on, do another theater of the enemies of the state absurd. We like when you guys do that.
No, I don't think we'll get those calls.
No, I don't think so either. This is the edu part of the show. You had the tainment part. No more tainment. Now it's edu part.
We'll slip a little bit in. We'll slip a little in.
Who knows? But this is from the U.S. Department of State, from their website. And if you got to get out of your car, you got to leave, go to unitedwest.org, teapartycommunity.com to watch the whole show. Our big idea right now is that we have a mechanism in America through the Department of State to designate groups as terrorist groups, and then as a result, there's a formal response from our government to those groups. And we're going to show you how that's done on the Department of State's website. And we are going to argue that what the legislators ought to do on Monday and Tuesday of next week, 13, 14, is indeed bring these guys in and say, guess what? Whatever you want, get spiel, because I'm going to committee. I'm going to organize an effort to ban all of you. You're all Muslim brothers. You're all part of the Muslim Brotherhood, and I'm going to work to have formal legislation banning the Muslim Brotherhood's operations here in the United States of America, just like other countries do around the world. Wouldn't that be cool if you got Congressman Trento, I'm up there a couple of months, and I say, sorry guys, I'm going to work to ban you. So you can stay here and discuss
that. That would be refreshing.
That would be refreshing.
That would be pretty cool. But here's the logical argument we're going to make. Point one, the Department of State bans groups and identifies them as terrorist groups. Let's read a little bit of this.
Foreign terrorist organizations are foreign organizations that are designated by the Secretary of State in accordance with Section 219 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. As amended, FTO designations play a critical role in our fight against terrorism and are an effective means of curtailing support for terrorist activities and pressuring groups to get out of the terrorism business.
Pretty simple,
Yep,
well written.
straightforward.
It's been there
Boom.
way before Obama.
Actually, Clinton
in office.
Clinton was a primary sponsor of this back in the 90s.
Yep, and so that's pretty
And he
clear.
put
That's
Hamas
easy.
and Hamas was the very first one he put on there, by the way.
All right, so yeah, that was in the 80s, actually, late 80s. That was before him. He was there in the 90s.
No,
when did he get elected?
No, they actually the
92.
FTA. Yeah, but he could.
92.
It was actually in response to Ubam Mazur Mazurk. Is the reason this was created.
Musa Abu Marzouk.
Musa Abu Mazurk was the reason this was created.
Hi to the salami guy.
Yeah.
All right,
Deputy
so
Chief of
point
Hamas.
one, the big idea is that we have a mechanism to identify organizations as terrorist organizations. I wonder what the criterion is to classify a group as a terrorist group, because then we'll see if the MB, the Muslim Brotherhood, fits. And if it does, that's what these guys should be doing on the 13th and 14th, telling them, I'm working to get you banned. All right, let's look at the criteria.
Give me 1 second to find it. Okay, switch
There's
it.
there's three parts to designating
Got
a group or an individual. You can do individuals or groups to designating them as terrorists. And here they are right here. Check this out.
Number 1, it must be a foreign organization.
Okay.
Number 2, the organization must engage in terrorist activity as defined in Section 212
Yep.
A3B
Section,
of the
blah, 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 blah.
INA, blah, blah, blah. Or terrorism as defined in another section of the Foreign Relations Authorization Act, fiscal years 1988 and 89, or retain the capability and intent to engage in terrorist activity or terrorism.
Right.
And number 3, the organization's terrorist activity or terrorism must threaten the security of U.S. nationals or the national security, meaning national defense, foreign relations, or the economic interests of the United States.
All right, so the logical question after reading the three criterion for identifying groups as terrorist groups, foreign terrorist organization. First one's foreign. Does the Brotherhood fit?
Yes,
The
yes.
Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood, yes, of which CARE and these other groups are court-documented wings of the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood.
All right, so the Muslim Brotherhood qualifies as a foreign organization per the State Department. Number 2, involved, and if you notice, there were 3 ways in which they covered terrorist activity being included in these various statutes. And without going into all the statutes and looking at it, which we have done, clearly the Muslim Brotherhood satisfies the criteria for being involved in terrorism. And if they fail in the first 2 points, look at the last one. Read the last part of sentence number 2 again.
The
last,
number 3.
no, number 2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The last part of number 2.
Or retain the capability and intent to engage in terrorist activity.
Whenever
or
you're writing
terrorism.
legislation, which is what this is, that formed this doctrine, you always have inclusive language. You try to have inclusive language. The other side tries to knock it out. And when you go to intent, that says, we may not have covered all the little basics, and you may have some wiggle room here, but now we're going to intent. Even if your intent is to participate in terrorism, we can identify you as a foreign, if you're foreign, which you are, number 1, terrorist organization.
Well,
What's number 3?
well, hold on. Let me
Hang on,
qualify
let me
the-
develop this. What's number 3?
Number 3, the organization's terrorist activity or terrorism must threaten the security of U.S. nationals or the national security of the United States.
Does the Muslim Brotherhood's existence threaten any Americans in the United States or American security anywhere?
Well, seeing
course.
how their motto is this, Allah is our objective, the Prophet is our leader, the Quran is our law, and jihad is our way, and dying in the name of Allah is our highest hopes. Yeah, I would say that qualifies.
Okay.
And this also...
Show's over, folks. We can all go home now.
Switch to this input.
Yep. Okay. And also we have this too, and this actually solidifies it even more. Understanding the role of the Brotherhood in North America.
The process
Now,
of
let me put
settlement.
this into place. This is very, very important. What we're doing right now, 45 minutes after the hour, Tom Trento, your host, WSBR Radio out of Boca Raton, and we're on the internet all over the place, iHeartRadio, Breitbart TV, all different places. We're making the point on part 3. Part 1, quick summary for everybody. Part 1 was, who is the U.S. Council on Muslim Organizations and why are they terrorists? We did that 2 days ago. We established that definitively. Part 2 was, what does the U.S. Council on Muslim Organizations want? We established yesterday that they want to change the law to make it harder to catch Muslim terrorists. So today, part 3, the title is, what should the elected officials who are entertaining the Muslim brothers who are lobbying them on the 13th and 14th in Washington, what should the elected officials do? We're arguing they ought to tell them, not only are we not weakening our law to make it harder to catch you guys, we are going to move to ban the Muslim Brotherhood and then really encapsulate you guys and keep the country safe. That's what should happen on Monday and Tuesday, 13, 14 April. We've just established the State Department has a political, by statute, mechanism for identifying these people. We've just concluded the Brotherhood fits all 3 criteria, but now to put the icing on the cherry on the top of the icing on the cake, check out the essence of the Muslim Brotherhood's doctrine here in America. Read this.
The process of settlement is a civilization jihadist process with all the word means. The Ikhwan must understand that their work in America is a kind of grand jihad in eliminating and destroying the Western civilization from within and sabotaging its miserable house by their hands and the hands of the believers so that it is eliminated and God's religion, Allah's religion, is made victorious over all other religions.
Oh my God, I just had an epiphany live here on N8.
What?
Wouldn't it be great if the legislators had this in their hand to say,
When these guys came, yeah.
you guys
Yeah, we
believe
could
this?
maybe put that on a flyer or something.
You guys believe, is this you guys? Is this part of the Muslim Brotherhood here?
Yeah.
You guys, is this what you're about? Both of those things we just showed.
Right.
Wouldn't that be great if that somehow was
Wound
was
up in the
there?
hands of the congressmen and the
Wouldn't that be
senators?
great?
Well, that would be pretty cool. What are you doing Monday,
See
Tom?
if we can make that happen.
Hey, where you going to be Monday, man?
All right, listen to this. I think we've established fairly well that the Muslim Brotherhood is an evil terrorist organization.
And that the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations is
Muslim
the Brotherhood. It
I
is
mean,
clearly a Brotherhood
If
organization.
you watch the 3 shows
No
so
doubt about
far, we've made the intellectual argument. It's there for accepting or rejecting on a factual basis. Factually, we've made the case. Next 2 days, we're going to make it even more
Well, not just
strongly.
we have made the case. We've had Supreme Courts and, appellate courts and everybody.
The support is there.
Yeah.
The support is there. Let me tell you about a little lady, short little lady, attractive little lady, 5 kids, brave, tough as nails, tough as granite, tough as Minnesota ice, and had an opportunity to live in that big people's house for several years and to articulate a Judeo-Christian worldview, and got up to speed, one of the few people, sadly, in the United States Congress who got up to speed on what we call the threat doctrine of Islamic jihad, and in particular, the doctrines we're laying out here, the Muslim Brotherhood. And in terms of her worldview as a Christian and a lover of Israel, she said, I can't, as an elected official, I can't sit by and watch this nonsense. I have to do something about it. She wrote some letters, and then she had a real phenomenal idea that we are going to support as action that should take place post-Muslim Brotherhood Day on the 13th and 14th. What little lady, if we had a picture of her, that would be great. What little lady am I talking about?
That person there.
There she is, right there. Wow, she looks like a model in that picture. Look at her. Who is that?
That would be
that Michelle Bachmann. To turned me into a Republican all by yourself.
Schmucky, man, you're jumping for the women all over the place.
Yeah.
That's Michelle Bachmann, former congresswoman from Minnesota. And look at what she authored less than a year ago. Less than a year ago. Check this out. What's that say?
HR 5194, House Resolution 5194.
What is it?
And I can't read it. Go ahead.
Oh, put her back up, and I'll get into the summary of it.
I could probably read if I walk
Yeah,
up
you
to
walk
the
up,
big
just read it
wall
from there.
of the West.
Read it from there. Read it from there.
Well, I was actually going to go to a description of it. Here's a summary of the bill. H.R. 5194. It is introduced in the House July 24th, 14. Muslim Brotherhood
July
terrorists.
24th, 2014.
Last year.
July 24th.
Less than a year
Less
ago.
than a year ago.
Go ahead.
It is
Hold it. Less than a year ago, Michelle, is she prescient? Is she omnipotent that she knows what's going to take place? Less than a year ago, Michelle Bachmann, who was excoriated by McCain, Senator McCain, and others, he's a Republican, he should be ashamed of himself, and by people on the left, less than a year ago, she had the foresight to say, we're going to have a problem with the Muslim Brotherhood in the United States of America, and she authored a bill to do what? Listen to this.
It's called the Muslim Brotherhood Terrorist Designation Act of 2014. Expresses the sense of Congress that 1. The Muslim Brotherhood has met the criteria for designation as a foreign terrorist organization, and 2. The Secretary of State should so designate it. Pretty simple. Requires a secretary to report to Congress the reasons why if he does not designate the MB as a foreign terrorist organization within 60 days. Directs the president to subject to sanctions any person in the U.S. or subject to U.S. jurisdiction who knowingly provides material support or resources to the Muslim Brotherhood or its affiliates, associated groups, or agents, meaning everyone we're talking about this
Sure,
week.
that's the statute in the Department of State. Go ahead.
Prohibits the Secretary from issuing any visa to and directs the Secretary of Homeland Security to deny U.S. entry to any member or representative of the Muslim Brotherhood or its affiliates, associated groups, or agents. Finally, requires any U.S. financial institution that knowingly has possession of or control over funds in which the Brotherhood or its affiliates, associated groups, or agents have an interest to 1. Retain possession of or control over the funds, and 2. Report the funds to the Office of Foreign Assets Control of the Department of the Treasury.
This is so aggravating because less than a year ago, former Congresswoman, she retired. She's got a large growing family, and you know, her view is you go up there. I'm a citizen legislator. Her husband, she and her husband have a business. She was a tax attorney for many years, very successful one. She decided to serve the public, and she ran for office, got elected, spent several terms here, did a phenomenal job, and then she went back home, which is the way it ought to be in Washington, D.C. But right now, she ought to be viewed as a brilliant forecaster of Islamic Jihad in the United States of America. She authored less than a year ago a bill to ban the Muslim Brotherhood. Let me ask you guys, let me ask you viewers, let me ask you radio listeners, if Michelle Bachmann's bill authored in July, was it June or July?
July
right?
24th of last
July
year.
2014. If that took off through the House into the Senate and became law before this coming 14 April, how many people you think would be up on Capitol Hill lobbying the
0.
legislators right now?
0. They'd all be in hiding.
They'll all be in jail.
Well, either
0.
in jail, hiding, or if they would have
0.
deported themselves by choice.
0 would be up there. All the groups we have told you about for the past 3 days and what we're going to tell you about on Monday and Tuesday all have, and covered in the inclusive language in the bill that Michelle Bachmann authored, all have involvement and some sort of aspect of relationships to Muslim Brotherhood terrorist activities. And they all have records for it.
Right.
All these guys have either been arrested or unindicted or all of that. If that bill was in place, nobody would be lobbying.
And how many
Congress.
co-signers did that bill have, Tom?
It had 19 19
That's
signers
pretty
on
impressive.
it, and then it died. And she decided to retire, and the bill died. But guess what? Maybe we could help revive the bill in the
Right.
United States Congress. If these elected officials cannot see a Muslim Brotherhood influence operation when it walks in their front door, then there is no hope for the United States of America, particularly when laying on their desk, laying on in their computer is a potential law that says you got bad guys that want to influence this country and we got to stop it. If these guys, the elected officials now, can't put two and two together and figure out how to offset the Islamic State coming to America via the Muslim Brotherhood, there may be no hope.
I want to show you, there were 19
I'm going to go sit
co-sponsors
down
on the
for a
bill.
heart attack and fall down.
Go ahead.
There were 19 co-sponsors on the bill. Now, you would think national security could possibly be a bipartisan issue, wouldn't you, Tom?
Of course it is.
Well, of the 19 co-sponsors, what do you think the Democrat-Republican split was? 10-9?
10-9.
How about maybe...
I actually know, but I'm acting, folks.
Okay, how about 11-8?
Love, I'd say
12-7?
just
10,
12-7.
you know.
12-7.
How about 19 Republicans co-sponsors and 0 Democrats? 19. Not one Democrat in all of the House of Representatives co-sponsored this bill.
Well, Tom, if they pass that bill, Obama would veto it.
Very good point.
Good.
Wow, that would be interesting. I'm vetoing a bill that bans the Muslim Brotherhood from having influence operations and terrorism operations in America. That'd be very interesting. But it is a very sad point that no Democrats stepped up to the plate to say, and we know there are some good Democrats out there that get it, very few, but it's very, very sad that the Democrat Party has become complicit in the Muslim Brotherhood's operations. But ironically, as bad as the Democrats are on national security with the Brotherhood, who's the main guy?
Grover Norquist.
Grover.
He ain't no Democrat. He a Republican.
Most
Grover is.
powerful unelected man in Washington, D.C. represents the Republican Party.
I mean, this is such a simple solution. The legislation has already been drafted. It already has 19 co-sponsors. It would give, not only would it help in this particular case on Monday, but oh my God, if this was actually a bill that was passed, it opens up the whole legislative body, the whole legal body to go after these guys and put them out of business. I mean, because there is no doubt about it that these guys are Muslim Brotherhood operatives. No doubt. Zero. Zippo.
Yeah, it's amazing. And if you would like to, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to see a copy of the bill that's simply floating around Congress, essentially dead right now, that would ban the Muslim Brotherhood, it's H.R. 5194 right there on your screen. All you got to do is Google Muslim Brotherhood Bill H.R. 5194. You can read the complete text, because not only did Michelle and others author the bill, there are 18, 20, can you scroll the 22 paragraphs where they make a case as to why the Muslim Brotherhood should be banned, should be identified as a foreign terrorist organization.
We're down to a minute and a half, T. Section 2, Sense of Congress on Designation of the Muslim Brotherhood.
No, not read it. If you just can scroll, if it's just to scroll those 22 paragraphs and show that a tremendous amount of research and work went into this. And truth be told, I would guess that some very high-level national security experts that have been working on this stuff all their lives may have contributed to some of the research that went into the apologetic, the argument to ban. I say ban. The actual technical term is to classify the Muslim Brotherhood as a foreign terrorist organization.
Like Hamas.
Yeah, like Hamas, like Hezbollah, like Al-Qaeda, like the Islamic State, like all of these evil people. So summing it up, as we're at the end of our show right now, we are in a 5-part series. Today's the hump day of the 5-part series.
Mike.
It's also the hope day. The Hope Day that legislators, and please send this show to them and call them, legislators in Washington, don't get scammed by the influence operation of Nihad Awad and his Muslim Brotherhood buddies, but instead counter. Here's how you defeat Islamic Jihad: smart activism. You bring these guys in, you show them their own documents, and you say, I'm going to work to put you on a foreign terrorist organization list. Get the hell out of my office and go write that I'm a hater or something like that, okay? Go do that. Goodbye. End the show. See you on Monday.